This isn't gonna work well.
It's fun.
In this video, we're gonna take one final look at Fertile Valley. I'm gonna show you the condition of my hobby room, and I'm gonna tell you why I'm gonna put my trains away. Hi everyone, I'm Steve Brown, and welcome to It's My Railroad. If you've been with us for a while, then you know that just about a year ago, I was tearing out my railroad at the place we used to live, packing it up, and moving it over here to the new place. Once I got here, I had to clean out some racking. I had to build myself a hobby room, start doing the bench work, and get going on the new version of the Brownsville Railroad. Once we got over here, I went through and I reintegrated my logging camp module and the module for Switch Junction. Those came from the old layout, tied them all in, and things were running really well. But then something else happened. I found myself getting more engrossed in putting these sort of quality videos out and trying to build a YouTube channel, and not so much effort being presented to just being a model railroader, which at my core, that's what I am. I'm a model railroader. I like building the model. I like running some trains and just sort of standing back and looking at the stuff I've done. So kind of got a little off track with that. I'll give you a little preamble really quickly, and I'm not going to focus a lot on this, okay? But if you watch the YouTube gurus telling you how to build a YouTube channel, none of that crap works. It doesn't work. Those people, I believe, are some kind of way connected to YouTube to just keep you making content for YouTube, who makes all the money. And for our efforts, we don't really make so much money. So it can't be about the money. It can't be about building a channel. It's got to be about model railroading, which we're getting back to that, is where I'm going right now. But first, you know, we just came off of sort of building out the Fertile Valley scene and the Downings Orchard. So let me give you a quick tour of what I've done. I've gone as far as I'm going to go for now, but let me show you what I did. Starting off way in the back, you see I've got this new tower signal and dwarf signal. They're both indicated red right now. I use those signals to tell me the condition of some turnouts behind the railroad to get my train out of Switch Junction over to the Brownsville Yard. I installed those as part of MRVP's Ultimate Guide to Model Railroading 2020 publication that's coming out in 2020. Very excited to be a part of that. So make sure you read the article, and there's an accompanying video to tell you how I did that. Right here is where I'm ultimately going to put in my water tower. I'm just not inspired to build it and install it right now. I've spent a great deal of time up here on the whole Fertile Valley scene. Pretty happy with it for the time being. I'll get back to putting that water tower in at some point. Some of the details I did put in, though, are these employee cars here parked next to the orchard packing shed. I still need to sort of weather them a little bit and sort of sweep the dirt up into where the grass is, because it just looks a little too good right now for cars that have been parking on it. So I'll get to that someday. I also took some advice I got from a subscriber in a comment, and I put these two picnic tables in here. This is like where the employees take their break. They have their lunch right here on this lawn, and I think it actually looks pretty awesome, so I'm very happy with that. Then I went through and I added some road signs. You see here I've got a stop sign for when the truck leaves Dowling Orchard to get back onto the highway. I also added some speed limit signs and these signs here with arrows on them, letting people coming in know that there's a turn there that they got to prepare for. So all in all, with the vehicles on there and all the road signs and picnic tables and even a little tractor in there, I really think it looks good for now. I have the rest of the detail parts. I just don't want to put them in right now is the way it goes. But let me show you how the layout looks right now. All right, I'm gonna just pull the covers back and show you everything. Normally when I do a video, I clean up an area and it looks pristine, but let me show you the way the hobby room normally looks. And we'll start right over here at Fertile Valley. As I pan around, you see this is the logging camp module. Doesn't look anything like it did when we finished season 1 of It's My Railroad. All the trees have been pulled out. I reintegrated it into the new section. I kind of got the water tower just lying there. It's covered in dust, which we're going to get back to in just a minute. And, you know, it's got to get rebuilt at some point. In the background there, you'll see I've started adding some mountains behind the track. I recorded some of that for video, but for the most part, I was just out here enjoying myself putting the mountains in. And this scene right here, I used to call the Virgin River Gorge. And now what I'm going to call it is Beggars Canyon because I'm getting rid of the water effect. The water never came out that great to begin with. And actually the water doesn't come from anywhere now because I have a finished backdrop of a mountain behind it. So it's kind of a dry wash. But you can see in the background there, I've got sort of a rock formation I've installed. I did that by pouring some hydrocal into some aluminum foil. Once it dried up, I broke it into pieces and then glued it up there. But obviously it's nowhere near done. We got some more work to do there. Panning a little further over, you see some more of the hills and you see my old coal trestle that needs to pretty much be completely rebuilt. It no longer fits into the scene right there. And I enjoyed scratch building that originally. Looking forward to scratch building the new one someday when the time comes. And then just to the right, again, switch junction. Came over from the old layout. In previous videos, since I've been here, we modified the track a little bit and it's kind of hasn't changed since then. It still looks like it did. I'm gonna do a rehab on Switch Junction at some point. Hopefully I'll be able to show that to you. Then as I just pan further around, this is the port scene that I've been working on with Model Railroader Video Plus. Hopefully you guys have subscribed over there and you're able to keep up with what I'm doing to build this. Further along, you've got the Brownsville Yard, also part of the MRVP video series. And then way down at the end, where all them structures are just stashed right now, that's Brownsville. It's gonna be a town that I build at some point in my career. Now, for the real fun stuff, let's go back over to Fertile Valley, but let's go up to the quote unquote second deck. And here's what I have. The second deck of the railroad, way over here on the left side, has got enough track for my train to turn around and head back down. So at least I can have some kind of continuous operations, but it's just temporarily set down in there. As you can see, no cork road bed, no nothing, and there's just junk everywhere. We continue to pan around. You see just the condition of it. There's nothing on top of the bench work back there. It's been like that for about a year. You keep going until we get down to the area I'm keeping my paints and my glues and just all kinds of crap is stored up there. It's not much of a second deck of a model railroad, in my humble opinion. So here's where I'm going, all right? You've seen all that. You've seen the condition of the hobby room. You see what a just poop hole it is right now. It's just a mess. And it's always like this. And I'm tired of it. It's because I don't have enough storage. I don't have places to put stuff. And I'm always in too big a hurry to make videos than to clean up after myself. We're going to change that. Anyway, listen, this doesn't work for me anymore, frankly. This mess I have in here, I can't find tools. I've got freight cars getting banged up and locomotives that don't work anymore. And there's just dust out here getting on all the good stuff because I'm sort of doing the work out of sequence. So I intend to change that over the next few months. I'm going to sort of take my hobby back, if you will. And I'm not trying to be dramatic. I'm just saying, what am I doing all this for? I'm supposed to be a model railroader, not a videographer. So anyway, one of the first things I'm going to do once I shut this camera off is fix this scenario. Now, listen, I used to have this top and the first deck set in such a way that this second deck would be equidistant between them. Boom, right here. But yet when I was putting in the top deck, I did a video on this where I stood in here with Cindy Brown, the first lady of Model Railroad, and we looked at it. It was just too tall. It's set up way too high. So I lowered it. Well, the good news is this isn't a bad depth right here or distance between the two decks. This is unacceptable. It's way too high. I don't like it. So what I'm going to be doing is building a sort of an extension that comes down to the depth I want it and putting a shelf right up along there all the way around the layout. That shelf is gonna now allow me to put paint up there and boxes of models I haven't put together yet and caulking and all the other crap I got lying around up on that shelf. Also down underneath, I'm gonna build me another shelf that sticks about 12 inches off the wall so I don't bang my shins into it when I'm sitting down there, and store junk under there. So we're gonna clean it up in here. Once that's done, I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna put the second deck up here, finished. I'm just gonna put the plywood in the way I want it, cut it, screw it down, reinforce it to get rid of this wobble, just like I did on the bottom one. Then I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna put the fascia here. I'm gonna put the fascia here. I'm gonna actually put something looks like fascia up here. I might just paint that black and get it over with. And finish the fascia here. And here's why I wanna do all that now. That all involves sanding, wholesale painting, cutting and stuff. And the dust level in here is getting all over the model, all over my rolling stock. And the reason is because I'm doing this out of sequence. And the reason I'm doing it out of sequence is because I gotta make a video. I gotta show them how to go from here to here to here to here to here. I can't just jump all over the place. I can't do this and then do that, do this. Yeah, you know what? You can. And I intend to. So that's what's coming. I'm going to build this down here, make a shelf, put in the fascia, paint it, get all the plywood in, and then I'm gonna lay my mainline track all the way around and down to the other side. That's the way this is gonna be. So here's why I'm putting my trains away. Based on how long it has taken me to get this far, it's gonna take me a while to get all that installed. And in the meantime, I don't want any more damage to my freight cars, my locomotives, because I'm in such a hurry. I may take all the structures off the layout and stack them somewhere neatly, gently, like I'm moving again. And then go through and boot up and make all that happen. So that's why I'm putting my trains away for a while. And here's what this means to you, my railfan viewing audience. I'm not gonna guarantee how often you're gonna see a video come out of here. I'm gonna be doing what I'm doing. I'll roll camera on it. When I got enough for a good video, a quality video, in my opinion, I'll produce that and show it to you. That may be monthly, it may be every 3 weeks, every 2 weeks, it may be next year before we see each other again. But trust me and know this, I have enjoyed hanging out with this community, and I totally dig the support from all you guys. And I'm not saying I'm pulling the plug, I'm not being drama or saying, oh my God, this is getting hard. None of that. I need to focus on why I'm a model railroader. Ultimately, it's to build the model. But I gotta get this heavy lifting junk out of the way so I can get down to the good stuff. So anyway, that's where I'm at. That's the update I'm giving you today. I'll give you another one just as soon as I can come up with something good to show you. And well, there you go. Anyway, thanks for joining me for this video. I hope you got a little bit better insight into what we're doing over here. And until we meet again, my name is Steve Brown. Rail on, my friends.